We forgot one big thing on the top 5 reasons to come to Alaska, and that is 24-hour daylight.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean,
another thing I just thought of, no restrooms. So either you carry a urinal with you or you stop alongside of the road.
We are Gay and Robert. 5 years ago, we quit our jobs, sold our house and all of our possessions, and began living the dream of traveling the world with only backpacks on our backs. After flying over 300,000 miles and visiting 82 countries, COVID brought us to a screeching halt. True to our fashion, we improvised and bought a brand new van and built it out in just 6 weeks to explore the United States until international travel opens up.
so we are stuck on an Alaskan highway for probably 20 minutes. There's road construction, so they're letting cars go both ways. So
We thought this would be a good time to tell you 5 reasons why you should come to Alaska.
I'll go first.
Reason number 1.
So not necessarily in any order, but the fishing. There's a lot of, you can halibut fish, you can salmon fish. It's easy to find charters. You might need to book early, but
Lots of fly fishing. Yeah, so if you're an avid fisher person, definitely come to Alaska to go fishing.
the second one, or number 2, would be animals, of course, the wildlife, bears, moose. We saw sea otters, we saw sea lions,
Elk.
there's whales, caribou, everything. So being able to see wildlife fairly simple, it'd be a good thing for sure.
Yeah. You have to come to Alaska for that. If you're an avid animal lover, an outdoor nature person, this is the place to come to see animals. If you are not seeing an animal in Alaska, then you're in the city in a hotel.
Well, yeah, and so far these have been fairly obvious. If you think of Alaska, this is Alaska. Number 3 would be obvious too, and that would be the mountains and the snow-covered mountains and the peaks and the beauty of the mountain ranges and glaciers. And that's one thing that's with Alaska. There's a ton of glaciers.
Yeah, endless amount of glaciers that you can actually get to, you can access, you can even drive off the road to one, you can do hiking on them. There are countless glaciers and things to do on glaciers here.
Yeah, another thing is within Alaska is the Alaska Marine Highway, which is a ferry system that is basically through southeast Alaska. So Ketchikan, Petersburg, Sitka, Anchorage, Whittier, all those places get serviced, as long as they're obviously on the ocean, through the what they call the marine or the Alaska Marine Highway, which is ferry system.
So if you can't afford a cruise, that would be the thing to do, is to get your vehicle on one of the ferries, and you're basically taking a cruise up the Inside Passage in Alaska.
The only thing is, it's not so much if you can afford. I believe it's more expensive than a cruise. It's more that you have more flexibility. You can choose where you get on and off instead of a cruise ship where you are set. But it's rougher. But you can tent camp on top of these Alaska highways, ferries, and they come from Bellingham, Washington. So you jump on in Bellingham, Washington, and then you can get off as many times as you want and different stops along the way.
Yeah, with your own vehicle. So you'd be on the ocean and you'd be seeing the ocean and the mountains in between the ocean, and then you get off and then you cruise around with your vehicle and drive up to the next location and get back on. I mean, that is really adventurous. And then you can sleep on top in a tent if you want. You can get a room too.
Yeah, you can get a room. And we did this in 2014, I guess. Took it from Haines, Alaska, down through southeast Alaska, and kept on getting off in Sitka, and then Wrangell, Ketchikan, and finally in Prince Rupert, Canada.
So I think the last one would be, if you are an avid hiker and you love hiking, Alaska is the place to come. Alaska really is an untouched location in so many spots of Alaska. There's very few towns, little tourism or little, what am I trying to say? It's just nature. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of, and that's one thing, there's a lot of expanse of just nothing, or I shouldn't say nothing, wilderness, you know. So the tourist areas really are, and we're not experts in any of this, but we've been up here a number of times. Kenai Peninsula is beautiful, and that seems to be where more of the tourist locations are, outside of Denali National Park. But the Kenai Peninsula is really, we've only went to the Spencer Glacier, which is down in the Kenai Peninsula. We didn't go any deeper, but in the past we had with Homer, Whittier, Stewart. You know, it's a great area.
Oh, the nature there and the beauty there is, you know.
Yeah, and oceans with it, yeah.
Hands down, the best that you will see when it comes to that kind of stuff. So those would be our top 5 reasons to come to Alaska.
And some of the reasons not to come to Alaska, because I think sometimes Alaska is a dream world for people, which it is, but there's other things. There's driving between locations is a long time.
Yeah.
And then be like, well, no, it's beautiful. Well, it is in certain areas, but in some areas it's wilderness or forest, and not always can you see a mountain range, or not always can you see a glacier. But what happens, you drive for 4 hours, then all of a sudden, boom, like yesterday on the way into Valdez, there's a glacier. There are a couple glaciers. I mean, beautiful waterfalls, yeah. You know. But I think you have to drive more, and so driving has to be in something that you like to do.
And there isn't very many towns in between. And then when you do get to a town, there's only one gas station and maybe a restaurant. Really, maybe a general store, if that. So if you're thinking you're going to go in between these cute little towns and these amazing tourist towns, that is not what Alaska is about. There's only a couple of those around, and really 2 only big cities.
Alaska too is if you are used to Hiltons or, you know, Hyatts or whatever. Now Anchorage might have it. Fairbanks, I'm sure, has very nice lodging, but in between it's wilderness lodging. It's people that are outdoorish, and so the lodging is definitely at a substandard compared to other parts of the nation. So if you're just interested in staying in Hiltons, it's not going to be good. Food is going to be a little bit more expensive, but we're really good at that. We've been in Japan and other countries that people are like, oh, it's really expensive. And it's not for us. Or New York City is another example. It's not for us. This was, of course, a little bit more expensive, but reasonable for us. We were able to find places without too much effort that were expensive. So like in Valdez, you know, places were $20 a plate, and then we found a really good one for $10, you know, or normal lower 48 prices.
Yeah. You just have to be resourceful. You have in the grocery store, prices are higher. Absolutely, all of those prices are higher. But you have to just be resourceful and figure out how much you can get for your buck, and eat that way.
You know, and I think that's it. But we forgot one big thing on the top 5 reasons to come to Alaska, and that is 24-hour daylight.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, so that 24-hour daylight is the number one reason to come here. And I shouldn't say number one reason. It's such a big deal. One of the nice things with that is you can go on a hike at 5 o'clock and not think, okay, we got to get done with this hike before it gets dark. Or when we pack rafted the other day, it was going to be 4 or 5 hours potentially. So we get off at 8 o'clock. I mean, we got off earlier, but 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you'd have to think of it's too dark. You know, we can't be out there pack rafting. So
we could have went out at 8 o'clock at night and ended in 3 in the morning, and it still would have been light out, literally light out. So yeah, having endless daylight in the summertime is the number one reason for us to come to Alaska.
We will come back just for that, because it allows us to do things. Like one thing, you can take a bus into Denali, the last bus of the day, and then mountain bike back out with no buses coming behind you or coming in. So you have the road to yourself, daylight, normal. You have to, I don't know, it's 8 o'clock at night or whatever, but that's the way to do it. You know, you sleep differently. So the light of the day, being all day, is fantastic. So now, come to Alaska in the winter, for us, it's not going to work. You know,
I talked to a local, and they have, in the dead of winter, 3 hours of daylight. Not for me.
No, I'm not handling in the cold. But if you love to snowmobile, cross country skiing, that is the number one thing for me, is the light. We will be back maybe even next year. Probably not with the van. I wouldn't think we'd probably fly up here like we did this time. But it's been a great trip.
So we've been to Alaska several times. We've been on our boat and have come on our boat 2 years in a row.
2015, 2017.
We've taken our RV up here.
Yeah.
We've done the ferries. We've stayed in our Winnebago View and did all of Alaska. So if you guys have any questions and, you know, want any details on Alaska, maybe we can help you out. So
yeah, we took the motorhome from Wisconsin basically up through the Alaska Highway all the way through. So we've, you know, we're not experts, but we've done it. So
leave us some questions below if you guys are coming to Alaska and you want some answers. Maybe we can help you out and would love to. Thanks for watching.
All right, the pilot car's coming. We gotta go.
The pilot car's coming. Time to take off. One thing I thought about that you can't do when you're driving in Alaska, you can't play the ABC road game. Look for the letter A, something that starts with the letter A. You're not gonna find it here. You would be playing this game forever.
Well, you could do it with like plants and trees.
I know, but you know,
animals.
you're not getting the point. I mean, like, where is something that starts with an A right now on this road?
There's some flower that starts with
No. So you can't play the ABC road game while driving in Alaska because you would never finish it.
That is true.
Another thing I just thought of, no restrooms. So either you carry a urinal with you or you stop alongside of the road because there are no restrooms within hundreds of miles of each other.
Well, but there was on the other highway that we're on.
Not this highway.
No, I know, not this
No
highway.
restrooms, so then I guess you pick your highways if you need restrooms, right?
True.